In this episode of the Happy Diabetic Kitchen, it's part 2 of Savoring the Flavors of Israel. Hello everyone, I am Chef Robert Lewis, the Happy Diabetic, and welcome to the internet's most delicious cooking podcast. I'm here in the kitchen getting ready to explore a healthy diabetic lifestyle. I want to take the mystery out of healthy cooking and explore some amazing foods and my diabetic journey with all my successes and my challenges. Let me help you live your best happy diabetic lifestyle. So welcome to the kitchen, and if you're new to the show, I am so happy you're here today. Hello everybody, welcome back to this episode of Savoring the Flavors of Israel, Part 2. In our last podcast, we had an interview with my travel partner and love of my life, my wife Cindy. We talked about chicken shawarma. Today's recipe of the podcast is going to be my delicious quinoa tabbouleh salad. Oh my gosh, it is amazing. The classic Middle Eastern salad that shifts from bulgur wheat to quinoa. I mean, it's one of those delicious Mediterranean style salads I can't wait to share with you. We're also going to answer the question, what is Israeli food? And what do Israelis eat? And is Israel known for food? Well, stay tuned everybody. Those and many more questions will be answered on the Happy Diabetic Kitchen podcast. Stay tuned everyone. We will be right back. So what is Israeli food? Well, everybody who visits adores the food. I mean, let's just be honest. It's colorful, so much flavor, diverse and multicultural. So the question is there even such a thing as Israeli cuisine? Well, my opinion would be it's very Mediterranean. It's very Eastern. It's a mixture of so many different cultures. And some of the staples that Israelis would be eating, or people living in that region, were bread, wine, olive oil, legumes, fruits, vegetables, dairy products, fish, and meat. And so much of it is so fresh and bought locally. Now, there are some very prominent spices that you find in Israeli food, like cumin, turmeric, pepper, paprika, sumac, cardamom, cinnamon. Israeli food is often made spicy and hot with chilies and garlic, but all of those spices you could find at your local supermarket. So what is Israeli food really known for? Well, in a region renowned for fantastic street food, I'm talking about world-class street food, local vendors, hole-in-the-wall eateries. You'll be served up national favorites like hummus, falafel, shawarma, quinoa, food at the epicenter of Israeli identity and a force that unites so many nationalities. So what are the most common foods I found in Israel? Well, falafel is probably the most recognizably Israeli food anywhere on the planet. It's in almost every town in Israel. You can find a choice of shops attracting the hungry with delicious smells of frying falafels. The shuk, or what they call the market, areas in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, they are famous for their excellent falafels. And what really is falafel? Well, it's a mixture made of dried chickpeas, seasonings, parsley, made like a meatball and deep fried, served in pita bread. Another question is, what is the main meat eaten in Israel? Well, it's going to be chicken, fish, and lamb. They're the most common animal proteins. Grilled kebabs and shawarma, the recipes in the podcast in episode 1. meat cut into thin slices are typical ways that Israelites prepare meat. Pita bread, often made fresh, is dipped in sauces like hummus and olive oil and stuffed with falafel. Now, if you haven't listened to episode 1, go back and listen to it. But let me just say a little bit more about shawarma. Shawarma is a Middle Eastern and North African dish that originated by the Turkish Empire. It consists of meat cut into very thin slices, stacked in an inverted cone, and roasted on a slow-turning vertical rotisserie or spit. Traditionally, shawarma is made with lamb or mutton. It's also made from chicken, turkey, beef, and or vegetables. Thin slices are shaved off the cooked surface as it continually rotates and roasts. Shawarma is a popular street food in Israel. We ate delicious shawarma at the Machain Yehuda Market in Jerusalem, where our apartment was only about 2 blocks away. So, the Machain Yehuda Market, what's it famous for? Now, the market, or shuk as they call it, is the largest market in Jerusalem with over 250 selling vendors, everything from fruit and vegetables to drinks to beer to coffee to pomegranate juice to smoothies. Pastries and breads, challah. It's unbelievable. The Hebrew word shuk means market. This term is widely used in Israel and other Middle Eastern countries. Also found at the shuk are meats, fish, spices, and so many household items, drinks, and coffee. So what is the history of the Machain Yehuda Market? Well, in 1887, in the neighborhood, it was established on the north side of Jaffa Road by 3 very prominent businessmen. So why is the Machain Yehuda Market so popular? Well, you could find almost anything there. Grilled meats, falafel, fresh roasted coffees, savory spices, fresh ground tahini, every flavor of halva you can imagine, gourmet cheeses from all over the world, beer, candy, clothes, and jewelry. It's an amazing place that we found very, very crowded, depending on what time you went. So, for example, if you were to go on a Friday, because Saturday is Sabbath, all the shops are closed, the market is going to be full, packed and jammed, but always plenty of supplies and food for you to purchase. We sometimes went early in the morning, 9, 10 o'clock, and the crowds were a whole lot less. The market is open from Sunday to Friday and closed on Shabbat Saturday, but like I said, it's particularly busy on Thursdays and Friday mornings with shoppers preparing for the Sabbath. And you can always get a taste of the market. There are tours, special cards you can purchase to give you tastes at various different stalls. It's really an amazing place and a great way to taste so many different dishes. There's market tours, cooking workshops. Whatever you're looking for in the Machain Yehuda Market, you will find. We took part in a program called the Bite Card. And really what that is, it's comprised of 6 slips of paper, curated in order to give you a chance to try a variety of products and flavors and aromas of the market without having to depend on an organized tour or group. It's kind of self-guided. And the cool part about what they call shuk bites, market bites, is included is a map with a pre-planned route and a punch card and vouchers that allow visitors like us to sample a variety of different foods. We sampled a soup made with a stuffed semolina ball served in a beetroot kind of a stew. We also had a pita that was some of the most amazing I'd ever had, stuffed with a special cauliflower vegetarian shawarma made with caramelized onions, tahini, and salads, kosher and vegan. And yes, there's always time for dessert. I recommend the ice cream sandwich. Choose your favorite ice cream flavor and eat it between a soft cookie. And if it's winter, dairy, kosher, vegan, and sugar-free options are available. But do not miss a box of arugula. Sweet yeast dough. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. It's a mixture of crescent roll pastries posing as cookies. They're made by rolling a triangle of dough around a sweet filling of fruit, nuts, chocolate, pretty much anything your heart desires. And of course, an amazing thing about traveling the streets of Jerusalem is we walked a lot. I think my pedometer, it registered about 10,000 steps a day. So, as I was sampling and eating, watching my medication, doing some exercise, my blood sugars were amazingly in check. It was fun. It was so much fun. I recommend, when things quiet down, and if you ever have an opportunity, to head to Israel, Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, Jaffa. It will be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And of course, besides the food, there's all the amazing religious aspects of a place like Jerusalem and Tel Aviv and all of Israel. So we want to pray for the people of Israel and everybody living in that region for safety and quick resolve of this conflict. When we come back, it'll be the recipe of the podcast. My special recipe, Tabbouleh salad. Welcome back, everybody. It's time for the recipe of the podcast, my quinoa Tabbouleh salad. Now, this classic Middle Eastern salad shifts from bulgur, which is how it's typically made, to my twist on it with quinoa. The tiny nutritional powerhouse is loaded with protein, making this dish both delicious, vegetarian main course, and a summer suitable side. So let's get right into it. And I will have this recipe posted in the show notes. So you're going to need 1 cup of cooked quinoa. Just follow the instructions on the back of the bag. Super easy. You're going to need kosher salt, lemon juice, garlic, extra virgin olive oil, some freshly ground black pepper, cucumbers, cherry tomatoes cut in half, some flat leaf fresh parsley, some mint, and some scallions or red onions. And here's how you're going to put it all together. We're going to start with making the salad dressing. So we're going to whisk the lemon juice and garlic in a small bowl. Gradually whisk in the olive oil. Season the dressing with salt and pepper. Now you've already got the quinoa cooked and refrigerated cold. This I usually do a day ahead of time. Next, in a bowl, we're going to add the cucumber, tomatoes, the herbs, the scallions, and the quinoa. Toss it to coat. Season it with salt and pepper and drizzle the dressing over it. Mix it up really, really well. Simple and easy and delicious. That's about it. You can add feta cheese to that. You can add chicken to that. You can add roasted cauliflower to that. But this quinoa tabbouleh is a staple of Israeli salads. Super easy, super delicious. I know you're going to like it. Okay, everybody, thanks for listening to the recipe of the podcast. More to come. We will be right back. If you're loving what you hear in the kitchen, please share this podcast with your friends, family, and anyone you know living with diabetes. Type 1, type 2, or my favorite, the type 3, that wonderful, loving support person. Please leave a comment or feedback wherever you listen. It's super important. So I know exactly what you like and how I can make this the best podcast ever. Please reach out to me at my website, happydiabetic.com. Hit the contact link and share a recipe or a comment or a question. We want you to live your best happy diabetic life. Thanks again for listening. This podcast is not intended to replace any professional medical advice. The views expressed in this podcast may not be those of the host or the Happy Diabetic Kitchen. Always seek medical advice from a registered certified dietitian, diabetic educator, or your doctor. I'm not a dietitian, a certified diabetic educator, or a doctor of any kind. Although I have 3 children, Attila, Dracula, and Frankenstein, that makes me a psychiatrist of sorts. Always consult your medical professional when making any changes to your lifestyle, diet, medication, or anything going on with your diabetes. The Happy Diabetic Kitchen is made from scratch, seasoned with love, cooked to perfection. Our theme music is by the Happy Diabetic Kitchen Band, and of course our kitchen mascots, our kitty cats, Scout and Tucker, who seem to always be wondering where their next meal comes from, or taking a nap. And please remember this. This year, better than last year. This month, better than last month. This week, better than last week. And this day, today, better than yesterday. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and let me leave you with this thought. Julia Child once said, "A party without cake is just a meeting." Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Remember this, no one loves you more than me. Happy cooking. See you next time.